guys, Ethan here and welcome back to another episode of the FIFA 19 Market Update series, in which I keep you guys up to date with all of the trends to look out for on the market when it comes to player prices. Right now, the hype for Chinese New Year is starting to build. I've done a video on it yesterday, I've done a few videos talking about it, and I think that is going to have an impact on the market, not to the huge extent we've seen during some previous promos like Future Stars and Team of the Year, but I still think it's going to mean that we're not going to see players recover massively in price from the very, very low prices they hit during Future Stars, which as of yet has been the biggest market crash of the entire year, even bigger than Team of the Year, as it was so unexpected. People didn't prepare, they just panicked a lot. So we're going to go through all of these different cards, the meta informs, meta gold cards, the high tier, mid tier and low tier icons. So starting off down here with the gold cards, you will have seen I've actually picked up Cristiano Ronaldo. I got him for, as you can see there, 1,770,000. By the way, look at that record. He is insane. That is all in FUT Champions. He is insanely good. But I think he's kind of retained his price, which I'm pleased with. I got him for that kind of price there, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. And even now with weekend league sell-off, he's not that much lower. I think he might be like, I don't know, 5 or 10k lower with the lowest by now on the market. So he'll probably rise up again. So I got him at a decent price. Like, I'm happy about the price I paid for him. But he's still low. Like, Ronaldo is still super, super low. And I think the lowest he's been this year, at least kind of, he was probably lower right in the first couple of days of the game. But since the game's been out for a while, he is at a very, very low point right now. So still, if you're looking to get someone like Ronaldo, any of these high-end cards, we've got weekend league sell-off now. So it's a decent time to go ahead and pull the trigger. Also, I don't think many people are investing in these types of players just because they are still anticipating the fact that we will have Chinese New Year, which should come around about the 8th of February, I believe. I think Chinese New Year itself is, I think it's the Year of the Pig, is on Tuesday, which is the 5th, I believe, and EA typically releases new content on a Friday. We've also got Ones to Watch, which I think should be with us on Friday as well. So we've got a lot of content to look forward to. I think Ones to Watch is the next kind of big promo. That will be very early on in February, and then when that ends, we'll have Chinese New Year. So with Ones to Watch as well, I don't think we're going to have a massive dip in price, but I still think it's going to stop cards kind of shooting up as we would have expected following Team of the Year. And I think the main reason for that is we're not going to have that huge market crash because we're going to have a really, really average Winter Ones to Watch squad, unless something big happens soon, because what have we got? Morata, Higuain, they're like the biggest ones, and I don't even think Higuain will be in packs because he's already got a Ones to Watch card, which won't update to a Chelsea card until he does well enough to get a special card. So I'm really struggling to think of that many big name players at all, really. Like, there have been some decent transfers, but nothing amazing, so don't expect there to be a massive market crash because we're not going to have some amazing players there. I think the cards that will be affected by Ones to Watch are going to be Ones to Watch cards themselves. I think the cheap ones will go up a good amount because we'll probably have SBCs, and 83s, 84s, 82s, those types of cards will probably also go up because I expect we will have SBCs, which people won't really be hyped about for the winter Ones to Watches, but for the summer Ones to Watches, as we have some much better cards than that, obviously Ronaldo, those types of players, then people will be more hyped about that, and they'll do those SBCs. Messi sat out about 700k. That is still very, very low for him, and obviously with weekend league sell-off, he's low anyway, so a really low price for him. Neymar's also right down. He's at like, what, 515, probably 520. He was lower though during Future Stars. His lowest point was like 500, so he's recovered a little bit. Ronaldo's recovered a tiny bit, like literally by like, I don't know, 5-10k or so, a tiny amount. Neymar's gone up a nice amount though. Sergio Ramos I picked up for 200k. I believe I sniped him. He was going for like 210 at the time. And yeah, he's now going for a pretty similar amount. About 215 I imagine about 215 to 220. That kind of price. You see with all these really, really high-end popular cards that so many people use, they always have that fluctuation. So you'll see these cards drop down on the Monday and Sunday. This week's a little bit different because we had an extended weekend league, so it's going to be maybe tonight, which is obviously a Monday, and then maybe Tuesday morning as well, that we'll see a lot of that weekend league sell-off coming in. So it's a little bit more elongated and spread out, but we're going to still see that rise after awards Thursday and Friday. So these types of players will then rise up. Fabinho's at like low 30s, which is what you'd expect. No real fluctuation there. Van Dijk, he's still very low, 120 or so, extremely low, lowest he's been this year, I believe. Walker's just sat kind of at what he's normally at. about 43k or so. And then moving on to the icons, we've got Cruyff, who's down below 3 million, I believe, for the first time this year. I said this would happen with all the Team of the Year cards. The icons are being kind of phased out. Team of the Year is now the best players in their position, so you're seeing these types of cards drop down. I think Hullet's down by about 100k or so. There's a couple of Vieiras under 3 million as well. You're going to see the really high-end icons just not really be as popular now because people are using those Team of the Years, and we have more and more good special cards coming out. Looking at the mid-tier icons, they're also pretty much the cheapest they've been this year. We saw a massive market crash with icons. The biggest we've seen for these types of cards came with the Future Stars promo. Now this Stoichkov's going for 800k. That's very, very cheap for him. Like, I got one for I think 860 during Team of the Year, and he went up to 1.1 million just after Team of the Year. I was going to sell him. I ended up keeping him, not anticipating the Future Stars promo would come out, and then he dropped down loads. I sold him in order to fund Ronaldo. Yeah, like, these icons are super low right now. So again, if you're looking to get them, now's a good time. I mean, look at this. Look how cheap. Like, a really good baby icon. Like, Campbell has got 84 pace, 85 defending, and 85 physical. That is a really, really good card for, like, that kind of price. That's up there with someone like Rio Ferdinand. He's got a really nice meta card, and he's down at, like, what, 490, 480? He's so cheap. These baby icons have taken an even bigger hit since the last time I did one of these videos. Now, I actually sold Campbell 2 days ago, I think. I'll show you guys my transfer list in a bit. I've been selling a lot of cards. I sold him for like 520 or something, and he's dropped down loads now since then. He's dropped down an absolute ton. So these baby icons are so cheap. Like, they're below 500k for the first time in ages, and that's not just for like the really random, like, scrubby ones. This is Campbell, who's got a nice card who you could actually use. Like, I've used him and he's pretty solid. Now moving on to the inform cards, these ones hadn't been affected too much with the whole Future Stars promo. Looks like Szczesny's down a little bit there. We've got Robertson, who, let's see what's happening with him. He's down a little too. He was up at like 270 following Team of the Year. He's down at like 230-ish now. I think that's just because a lot of people were using him to link to Van Dijk, and now they're maybe just going to mixing their teams up, swapping around a bit. Hernandez is down at like 120, so that's low for him. Bai is one that fluctuates a lot. He's down below 100k. Team of the Year time, he was like 110. Beforehand, he was about 100. That was the lowest point, the height before Team of the Year. Typically, he's like a 120, 130k player, but he's down below 100k now. Looking at Lala, he's another one that is a good indicator of what happens on the market. He's up at around 200. That's just because we've got Mbappe, who's still so popular, and he's the option to link into him. But he has still dropped a little bit. Like, he was going for about 200 to 210k at his kind of peak hype, and he's now gradually dropping down again. And that's just because there's less hype on the market, and there's a little bit of panic really with this. Well, not just this promo. There's two promos. We've got Ones to Watch, and we've got Chinese New Year coming up. And Chinese New Year typically has like big pack offers, so you get like half price packs or 2 packs for the price of one, and that has a big impact on the market. Not necessarily with like inform cards like this, but more so with either the meta gold cards. Also icons, they do get packed quite a lot then, and also those really low end like 83s, 84s, 85s, they get packed so much. Mbappe's down a good amount. That's because he's got another inform impact right now, albeit in a different position. But Mbappe's down. You'll see him recover though. People who have this card may have sold him because he got Team of the Week, but because they're in different positions, this one will definitely still rise up as it is the best option, unless you've got the coins for his Team of the Year in that position. Hulk's down a lot. That's just because he's one of those cards now that's just not that popular. No one really uses Hulk anymore. We've got Kante, who is down very low. He's actually down a lot. He's near, there might even be one, I thought there might be one for like under 600k, but he was like 750 after Team of the Year. He recovered. He was a little bit lower when he was announced in Team of the Year. He's down very low as well. I imagine the same can be said for Hazard. Yeah, he's down well below 600k, so like 570-ish. Very low for Hazard, and I don't see him recovering that much more in the near future. We've got Ben Yedder, who just, his price never fluctuates. I think it's because he's so popular that he never really gets panicked sold that much. Like, he is always around 100 to 110k. He's pretty much always like about 105k, bang on. It's what he's going for now. It's what he always seems to go for. Like, I've not seen this guy fluctuate throughout Team of the Year, throughout Future Stars. I'm not sure what it is with him, but he is a very safe player in terms of fluctuation. Nothing really happens with him. So not amazing there. And then Aubameyang seems to actually be up a bit. Aubameyang, is he up? No, he's kind of around what he's normally going for. I thought he was over 500, but there's a few for just below. So not much fluctuation in terms of informs. Some of these really high-end ones, though, the likes of Mbappe, Kante and Robertson, Hazard, they seem to have dropped down and are fairly low. But these ones here are just kind of around the price you'd expect. They've maybe dropped by like 5-10%, but nothing huge. Nothing to get overly excited about. Icons are insanely low right now. Like, this is the lowest point for most icons throughout the entire game so far. So if you're looking to pick any of those up now, could be a good time to go ahead and do that. Still a really good time if you want to get some of these high-end cards. We're talking Ronaldo's, Messi's, Neymar's, all of that kind of stuff there. Very, very good time now. They're extremely cheap, and that's why I myself have gone and got Ronaldo. I've got Ramos, I've got some big name players, and I'm actually going to be doing a video on my team in the near future because it's brand new. We've got some insane players in there, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, and I have so many comments all the time asking to see my team. So I'm going to do an in-depth video actually on that. So that is the team. There we go. That's the team of kind of not investments, but like the market watch. Let's quickly take a look at the transfer list as well. We have got 2 SBCs, league SBCs, which will affect the market. We'll be talking about those as well. So I sold Stoichkov and Campbell. You can see Campbell went for 520. I actually made a bit of profit on him as I got him quite cheaply. Stoichkov I sold for a loss, but I just wanted to get Ronaldo. Kimpembe, I think I made a tiny bit of profit on him, but these were just players I wanted to get rid of in order to fund getting Ronaldo. These 3 ones here, or 4 ones rather. Then we've got a lot of informs I was selling as investments. I've had these guys for ages. I was just clearing out my club again just to fund getting that the new team I was wanting to build, which is worth a lot of coins. I needed the coins for it. So I just sold these because we had Team of the Week SBC. So Pavlenka I got for like 20k, so I made about 15k on him. Funes Mori was like a discard price investment, so was Guarin. So these types of guys here I'm making like double or triple back what I spent. Bongonda I literally invested in about 30 or 40 of him. I sold a lot of them a while ago for like 17k or so, a little bit cheaper, but he's now up at like 20. Sold a few there. Benitez I was selling for over 20. I've got a couple of him. These are just like a few cards I had left. Walker Peters is one of the best investments I've made this year. I literally got like, I don't know, 60, 70 of him, filled up my transfer targets, transfer list, got as many of him as possible because he was a 10k discard price English Premier League inform with decent stats. I knew he'd go up, like there was nothing saying he wouldn't. So I got loads for 10k, sold them all for like 17 to 18k recently, and the profit on those was insane. I made several 100k, so very happy about that. And I did tell you guys to invest in those cards over on Twitter, so hopefully you did that. Dimasa, he's another card like Walker Peters. I did mass invest in, not quite to the extent, but I had like 20 of him. I've sold them gradually. This was just the last one. I was just clearing out my club, so I had a few just... normally these cards are on my transfer list, and then I keep one in my club, so I was just clearing out my club, selling any cards I had left. Oblak, was just someone I tried out instead of Courtois. I got rid of him. These are some players I've been trying out or packing. I was selling on my 85s as well. I was selling on 85s, 84s, all these types of cards there, because we've got these SBCs which have really pushed these cards up in price. So I thought now could be a good time to sell them, stock up on coins, and then I can reinvest those heading in some of these new promos, looking at informs, looking at some different types of investments there. So I did sell a lot of those. We've got some ones to watches stored up. I haven't got many just because I sold a lot of the ones to watches that I picked up for... Like, what am I getting these for? That was a 15k Golovin. This Dembele was 14k. I probably had about 10 Dembeles. Had quite a few different ones to watches that I'd got for like 12 to 14, 15k. I sold them all for about 25k. Like 1 or 2 weeks ago because their prices were quite high because we had a lot of hype for this new promo. So I was selling some of them. I'm now just keeping a few so I can do some SBCs, and I've got maybe like 4 or 5 in my club as well. I'm also still just selling on some informs, like we've got this guy here, Nerd Starter, just random informs. Like I just invest in one of every inform from the team of the week. Still selling those guys on, still selling on like my 85s like Dzeko. These guys here, I'm not sure what they're doing, but I'm trying to sell them. I think this guy was because of like some SBC that needed English players or something, so still trying to just get rid of cards like that, make some extra coins here and there. And I'm now going to quickly show you guys some of the investments, because if we go over here to single player, I'll quickly show you guys the 2 new league SBCs that we've got. Just in case you're wondering, you may not have seen this, but we've got 2 ones with some pretty decent rewards. Not going to lie, they're decent. We've got La Liga, which gives you a choice between Aspas and Casemiro. That Casemiro card is sick. If you put a Shadow Carousel on him, or maybe like a Hunter or a Catalyst, you've got yourself a brilliant defensive midfielder. And I'm tempted to do him because I've got some players in my squad who would link in very nicely to him. We've also got the Saudi League, and we've got Ahmed Musa, who has a tasty card, 97 pace. So that's pretty naughty there. So we've got both of them. That will, of course, mean that cards from those leagues will have risen in price. And as I said, I am very much tempted to do that Casemiro card, and I may actually stream it later on today. Completing the SBC, opening the packs, all that good stuff there. So if we look at La Liga now, let's quickly take a look at silvers. I get a lot of questions asking when to sell these types of cards. It's pretty simple. I would recommend selling any of your gold cards now. So any gold card investments you have for La Liga, make sure that you sell them now because they're pretty high in price. But silvers, everyone invests in silvers and everyone panic sells. But they don't really panic sell, they just dump all their investments on the market as soon as the SBC is announced. And you don't want to do that. You want to wait like 3 to 5, maybe even 6 days at a push until the majority of the player base have sold their investments. And then you want to sell your investments once they've sold theirs and the cards are starting to get rarer. And you'll see initially, like we saw with the Ligue 1 SBC, where I made literally like 500-600k. That was one of my best investments, and I got so many positive comments on the video I did in terms of investing for that, because you guys did the same. We had a centre back, I think he was called Adenol. He was going for like 1k. He rose up to like 3 or 4k within maybe a day of the SBC being released. Like, he was relatively expensive. You could have made some coins on him. But about a week later, he was extinct at 10k. They increased his price cap, and then you could then sell him for like 20k. So you could be selling a card for 20,000 coins that previously you could have been selling for like 3k. You just had to be a bit more patient. So someone like Advincula, for example, who's one of the only right backs for this team, currently he's like 2k, but I could see a card like this easily going up to like 5k or so. I've got loads of investments here. Like, these are all the very best investments from this league. Like, this guy here, for example, I think he's the only right back maybe for that team. The majority of these investments are really unique, so like they're the only player in a certain position for a certain club. But you can see right now, like, they're really kind of heavily saturated on the market. There's a lot of these cards. So this guy here that's sat at like 7k. Oh, there's some cheap ones there. I could see him going up a lot more. Obviously, like, just give it a little bit of time. Be patient. That's really important. You've got to be patient with these types of investments there. But yeah, as I said, just wait a couple of days and then you can sell these cards once they've risen up in price, once that initial supply has been used up and the demand for these cards is going to rise. It's also going to be the same with your players from the Saudi League, although I don't think they'll rise as much because it's a less hyped SBC. Obviously a much less hyped league. But there we go. Lots of stuff to talk about in this video. We've talked about the league SBCs, we've talked about ones to watch, and Chinese New Year. There's new promos coming up. Looked at the market and all that as well. So if you guys have any comments, any questions, let me know down below, and I'll try my best to get back to you. And I'll catch you guys later. Take care.